Hello and welcome back to Surly Tim's Fun Bunker. I would be Surly Tim. Now this one's a little different. I had actually had was watching Sleepy Reader 666 yesterday, and he had made a comment about early on there were people had put down their comic book origins. Now I thought about doing this. I may have done it in the old days when I ran my old channel. Not quite sure. I've not went through that material in a long time, and hopefully they'll purge that portion of my life anyway. I've got it all. Perhaps I'll even do a reflection video. Who knows? But my origins. My origins. I mean, other than being crapped out and slapped around and whatever. My comic book origins were my uncle, my uncle Jack. It would have been my adopted father's brother. He was a huge influence on me. Got me hooked into Monty Python, got me hooked into comic books and stuff. When comics books were still socially thought of as a pariah. If you read comic books, you were seen as illiterate, and this man was far from illiterate. I mean, his library I think my library is dwarfed by what his library was, and my adopted father, his library was comparable as well. We were all avid readers. So I mean, when I started reading comics, I think it was just I was looking for more to read. That was easier to read. That was just something that I could just carry around. I was the kid that always had the dog-eared copy of a Burroughs book shoved in his back pocket. My first book being The Hobbit, first grade. I remember going in and they lined us up at the bookshelves in the library. And here, go to town. Here's the first grade reading area. Well, I got there evidently a little too late. And so I walked over to the third grade level. I just was looking at book titles, waiting for everybody to get the hell out of my way. Went down, looked down, and said, "Oh, wow, The Hobbit, great." This was a third grade reading level. I picked it up, read the back. Cool. Took it to the shelf, or took it to the counter, checked it out, sat down, started reading. Teacher, "What are you doing? You can't have that book." I'm like, "Too late, I already checked it out." Fair enough. Well, that inspired me to read. I was quite the avid reader. I still am. My to-read pile is humongous. So it's just an ever growing and teetering. Metaphorically. My shelves are weak, though. But anyway, comic books. My uncle, I was also someone who loved to sketch and draw. And I developed the talent at a very young age. And my uncle saw that, and he tried to feed that passion. But he was a comic book reader, in the traditional sense. He would go once every couple of months. He would just hand me a box full of comic books, and I remember those being some important boxes to me. You would go to your uncle's house and you'd hang out, and he was always such a cool dude anyway. I mean, he had an old reel-to-reel tape recorder, and we would listen to old radio shows, and he hit me to jazz and like I said, Monty Python. He hit me to all sorts of things. My adopted father, he hit me to sci-fi and stuff. We used to watch Star Trek together. But comic books they clicked. It was a fast read. I could obtain knowledge. I could see art. I could look and I could study other people's art forms. I quickly learned that the same artist could look different. And what was this inker? What was this inker thing about? I'm always the tinkerer. I'm always the not tinkerer. I'm usually the one. I deconstruct something to figure out how it works. I dissect constantly, and I love that about the world. But comic books, that was what was beautiful about comics to me. because you could notice, well, here's, here's this artist, here's this inker. This art looks way different with this inker as opposed to that inker on this artist. And you could just dissect it and figure it out. I didn't really pay much attention to the stories other than the fact that it was a form of entertainment. It wasn't until much later that I started to go, wait a minute, some of these stories are just crap. This doesn't make any sense. I was less interested in the art, and I became more interested in the stories. And this actually followed the production of my own comic, which was garbage. Garbage. It is worthy of a tossing behind my head. But that pushed me towards writing, which pushed me into a, not so much a career, but as a, I was a columnist for a newspaper, music critic. Also interviewed bands, a few, not many. I'm not exaggerating my level of importance as a journalist. But I was a columnist. But it also, because I was writing for quite a while. So it's one of those things. It's comic books. It's funny how comic books have taken its root in me. How it's well, not its root. My roots could be say to have been planted in comics. Get a lot of crap for it. Don't get as much crap today as I used to because, well, it's more socially acceptable. I've said in the past, I've bled for comics. I've bled for being a geek. Back in a time when it was not socially acceptable to be one. The mental abuse that a geek used to get. But there was nothing that was going to stop me from buying these. That was ever going to stop me from reading these. There's so much held between covers in these that just I think it's a reason why I think if the medium was to go purely digital, I just curl up and die. I mean, granted, I realize I can always go out and buy old stuff, and I'm grateful for that. But yeah, my origins are from my uncle. I saw the attributes, heroic attributes, reflected in the characters that I was reading about, and I've tried to apply that to my life. I've tried to reflect those attributes. I've tried to reflect those traits. I don't like to lie. I hate judging people. I try not to judge people. I try to give everyone the benefit of a doubt. Even like with, I don't know. It's yeah. I'd have to say it's probably my origin story. Origin stories and kind of a confessional. So yeah, but Sleepy Reader 666, he posted it on there, and I was like, I thought about doing a video like this a while ago, and just never really got around to it. But since we're hitting that time where we may not have the opportunity, now's the time. Do the videos you've always wanted to do. Go out with a bang. Yeah. Do it. Do what you want to do, man. Kick out the videos you want to kick out. Because the 10th is just around the corner. And we could all be gone by then. So I've got one more video to shoot. And this one's kind of a challenge to everyone. I don't know if I'm on this late or not, but I did this one time before in the old days. Never garnered any responses. But then again, I wasn't intelligent enough to know how to use the platform back then either. I barely get it now. But that'll be the next video. So, but I want to thank Sleepy Reader 666 for kind of kicking me in the ass and pushing me in the right right direction with this one. Yeah. So, thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.